Coming up on Cronkite News tonight, how the heat has led to the discovery of the largest amount of remains on the U.S.-Mexico border.
And the Phoenix Firefighter Union makes a request to the city to help reduce injuries and illness.
And later on Break It Down, the influence of advertising on social issues.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Sinead Hickey.
And I'm Peyton Watts. Thanks for joining us. Extreme temperatures are leading to a record number of deaths from migrants crossing the border. That's according to the nonprofit group Humane Borders, which tracks migrant deaths. The group reports 43 bodies were found last month in southern Arizona amid the hottest June on record. 29 of those 43 were found dead within the last week. The chair of Humane Borders says they are trying to set up water stations throughout the southern Arizona border, but are overwhelmed right now.
We would love to put out even more water with all these different groups, but the numbers are really high, and the area is huge. And there are a lot of places we can't put water because we don't have permission. So it's tough. We're actually talking more about trying to dissuade people from crossing right now than we as much as anything else.
There have reportedly been 127 migrant deaths in the first half of this year in the Arizona border region, up from 96 last year.
Governor Ducey ordered all state government buildings to fly their flags at half-staff today to honor 2 wildland firefighters who died in a plane crash Saturday. 62-year-old Jeff Pachura, a retired fire chief from Northwest Fire Department outside of Tucson, was with pilot Matthew Miller conducting an air attack on a lightning-caused fire in northwest Arizona.
Matt Miller and Jeff Pachura were working the Cedar Basin fire on July 10th as an air attack platform. That platform is comprised of the plane, the fire pilot, and the air tactical group supervisor. Matthew was the pilot, and Jeff Pachura was the air tactical group supervisor. This role is a very critical and important role on all fires. And Matthew had well over 20 years of service in the fire community, doing his role as a fire pilot. Jeff had well over 30 years, and we lost a lot of experience here.
Governor Ducey ordered flags to remain at half-staff until sunset tonight to mourn the loss of the 2 fire crew members.
Hiking during the extreme heat this summer can be dangerous for hikers and rescue crews. That's why the Phoenix Fire Union is asking the city's Parks and Recreation Board to close several valley trails when the temperatures hit 105 degrees. This request comes a month after the Firefighters Association says 12 members of the department's technical rescue team were sent home for heat-related injuries and 2 other firefighters were hospitalized. The firefighters group wants restrictions for Echo Canyon and Cholla trails at Camelback Mountain and the Piestewa Peak Trail on Piestewa Peak. Officials say the terrain on these trails make rescues difficult, especially on hot days. In 2020, there were 284 rescues just on those 2 mountains.
It's not unusual to have a lot of mountain rescues, and we're normally very prepared, very able to handle those. But when they hit in those really extreme temperatures, the danger just increases exponentially, and that's what our concern is.
Firefighters are requesting that trails close between 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. beginning July 16th and ending on September 30th this year. The Parks and Recreation Board meets virtually tonight to discuss the issue.
The Arizona Supreme Court threw out the schedule that would lead to the execution warrants for 2 death row inmates, delaying the executions. The prosecutors say they need to test the lethal injection drugs before seeking death warrants for Clarence Dixon and Frank Atwood. They asked to modify the schedule after learning the drugs didn't have as long of a shelf life as previously thought. Clarence Dixon was sentenced to death in 1978, and Frank Atwood was sentenced in 1984.
Governor Doug Ducey had to draw on federal funds to help with unemployment benefits, using the money to refill the state's unemployment trust fund. The fund is now above the level of where it was before March of last year. The governor aims to prevent insurance premiums paid from businesses from increasing. It took $759 million from the funds provided to Arizona from the American Rescue Plan. Governor Ducey says small businesses are the backbone of the community, and he is committed to not raising taxes on them. Coming up after the break, the Mexico consulate hosts a competition. We'll tell you about efforts to encourage young Latino and Indigenous artists.
Still to come, the National Weather Service issues a flood warning in parts of Phoenix. We'll tell you where to expect rain.
Every day I wake up, my first thought is, how can I serve this community?
The biggest hurdle was not taking PTSD personally.
So would you welcome, please, the amazing.
Everybody that watches this, they say that I am the greatest that they've ever seen.
It's prime time on your time. Watch Prime Afternoons every weekday on Arizona PBS. Did you miss a show in the evening? Then catch up on Prime Afternoons, your favorite dramas.
No more bloody heroics.
Antiques Roadshow.
Really?
Nature and Nova.
It's time to reintroduce some wonder into this miracle of nature.
All of the best from PBS on Prime Afternoons. Weekdays starting at 1:30, only on Arizona PBS. Take a journey with Arizona PBS. Join us every Sunday afternoon for Destination Drama. Watch all your favorite PBS dramas like Grantchester.
I'm William Davenport, new vicar of Grantchester.
Poldark.
Nothing in my life has meaning without you.
And Victoria.
I know that I'm young, but I know my duty.
And if you missed a recent primetime drama, we'll help you catch up on those too. Destination Drama. Every Sunday afternoon at 1. Only on Arizona PBS.
Cronkite News is more than your local news station. Through our innovative ideas, we create new ways to connect with our viewers and have their stories be heard. Our cutting-edge technology allows us to take a deeper dive into seeking the truth and delivering new perspectives. Stay up to date on top Arizona stories anytime on TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook at Cronkite News.
Mexican Independence Day is September 16th. In honor of this day, the Mexican consulate in Phoenix hosted an art competition to celebrate and encourage artists in the community. Faith Abercrombie introduces us to some of the young talent.
With competitors ages ranging from 6 to 14 years old, the one thing every piece of art has in common: Mexican independence.
I am Mexican American, and it meant a lot to me to be part of this competition because of how I got to just put things I know from experience from parties. The decorations they have are from all these different movies I've seen, how they all have all the music, the food, and just combine it into one piece.
The art contest was held at Chico, an art organization that encourages Latinx and Indigenous artists to use their voice through creativity.
It's very important for Mexican children to try to conserve, to keep their Mexican identity.
I really like how I did include the Mexican flag as a part of it.
The Mexican flag, symbolism, and historical events were drawn, painted, and colored onto these sheets of paper.
I think we have a lot of talent on Indigenous communities and also in Latin communities. Where here in Arizona, most of the Latin Hispanic people are from Mexican descent, and we think they need a voice.
The young artist left the gallery not only with a smile, but also with pride.
I just don't want it to be forgotten that, you know, the future generations coming from my bloodline, that they're a part of Mexico and they're always going to be a part of Mexico.
In Phoenix, Faith Abercrombie, Cronkite News.
Each year, the art contest is based on specific topics related to Mexico. Last year's theme focused on Mexican wrestling, lucha libre.
The National Weather Services issued flash flood watches for large areas of central, southern, and northwestern Arizona. Those areas include Phoenix and Tucson, as well as areas scarred by recent wildfires. The flood watches took effect this afternoon and will last until tomorrow morning. The NWS say the storms are likely to continue until Thursday in northern Arizona. They say while some isolated severe storms are possible, they're mostly concerned about flash flooding.
Let's go to Isabella Fredrickson in the Weather Center, who's on the lookout for more threats of flooding and storms as updates are announced.
Starting off with our state futurecast, we are going to be seeing a lot of wind and rain movements across the state of Arizona. It is monsoon season, so we are going to be expecting a lot of storm movements coming up. As you can see here, most of the state of Arizona is already on a flash flood watch, which means that we do have potentials for some floods coming up. We already have 2 warnings in Holbrook, Arizona for floods. Moving on to our high temperatures for tomorrow, while Phoenix is going to be at 102 degrees and Lake Havasu City is going to be up to 110 degrees, most of the east side of the state is going to be a bit cooler. Show Low is only going to be 78 degrees tomorrow, and Flagstaff is our coolest at 74 degrees. Again, this is due to the rain and the wind from our monsoons. Moving on to our 8-day forecast, while it will remain above 100 degrees this week, we are going to see some chances of clouds and rain. And while it may dry up a little bit on Friday and on Tuesday, for the most part, we are seeing a lot of rain and a lot of wind this week. So keep those umbrellas handy. Isabella Fredrickson in the Weather Center.
I'm Emily Carmen. Coming up after the break, I'll have your Cronkite Sports Report, including an Arizona Paralympian who's taking his rugby skills to Tokyo in August.
He was bigger than boxing.
I am the greatest.
He was larger than life.
His magnetism just was amazing. Who is this guy?
He was a revolutionary. He was a groundbreaker.
Well, ain't nobody gonna stop me.
Ken Burns captures an intimate story of victory, defeat, and determination.
The price of freedom comes high. I have paid, but I am free.
Muhammad Ali.
Coming in September to Arizona PBS.
Cronkite News provides students at ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism with the opportunity to gain real-world experience in the newsroom. At Cronkite News, our students produce professional content for audiences by taking on all roles, whether they be reporting, anchoring, producing, or studio production. Each department gives students first-hand professional newsroom experience. For more information, visit cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Take a journey with Arizona PBS. Join us every Sunday afternoon for Destination Drama. Watch all your favorite PBS dramas like Grantchester.
I'm William Davenport, new vicar of Grantchester.
Poldark.
Nothing in my life has meaning without you.
And Victoria.
I know that I'm young, but I know my duty.
And if you missed a recent primetime drama, we'll help you catch up on those too. Destination Drama. Every Sunday afternoon at 1. Only on Arizona PBS.
By the year 2050, there will be more plastic in the ocean than fish. Before Professor Halden, I had an insane amount of passion, but I almost felt helpless because I didn't know how to use it. Professor Halden gave me a chance to make a difference. Being at a place like ASU allows you to take these big leaps. Ultimately, the biggest problems in the world cannot be solved alone.
Cronkite News is more than your local news station. Through our innovative ideas, we create new ways to connect with our viewers and have their stories be heard. Our cutting-edge technology allows us to take a deeper dive into seeking the truth and delivering new perspectives. Stay up to date on top Arizona stories anytime on TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook at Cronkite News.
Welcome back to Cronkite News. I'm Emily Carmen, and this is your Cronkite Sports Report. Wheelchair rugby is a sport you don't hear about often, but Cronkite Sports reporter Aaron Slendy tells us how one local Arizona athlete's love for this unique sport brought him to the top.
Joe Jackson has always had a passion for high-intensity sports. After watching Murderball, the wheelchair rugby documentary, he knew he had found his calling.
After that, I was sold. I was like, okay,
getting a chair. I'm going to find a team. And I'm going to work my way up.
Jackson was paralyzed from the chest down in a football accident in 2005. But he hasn't let his injury stop him from doing what he loves.
I mean, I'm the smallest guy out there, one of them. And I like to hit, like to try and make plays, just be an athlete.
Jackson is a member of the 3-time national winning Phoenix Heat. Last year, Jackson was training to be on the 2020 Paralympic team until the pandemic hit and the games were canceled. There were many limitations on the athletes and strict protocol when it came to their training. But Jackson never quit reaching for his goal, to be a Paralympian.
He's been working through COVID, pushing with a mask on by himself in the gym.
Joe Jackson spent many summers training to be one of the best wheelchair rugby players in the nation. This year, he will be one of 12 members to represent Team USA at the 2021 Paralympics in Tokyo.
Just to represent the USA like at the highest level and try to bring back a gold.
The support Jackson gets from his friends, family, and the Paralympic community make the sacrifice he has made to get to this point worth it.
It's like a little family, even at like the local level. So here, like all these guys are great friends of mine. And we learn from each other. It's like our own little support group because we're all going through somewhat similar situations.
USA has not won a medal since 2008 and is looking forward to taking down 2-time defending champions Australia. In Phoenix, Aaron Slindy, Cronkite News.
The rugby team leaves on August 17th before the games start on the 25th. The Diamondbacks made history this week with their third-round draft pick. They selected Jacob Steinmetz, the first known practicing Orthodox Jewish player to be drafted into Major League Baseball. Meanwhile, the MLB All-Star Game is tonight, and Eduardo Escobar is the lone representative for the Diamondbacks. The Midsummer Classic will be played at Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. Escobar is not in the starting lineup, but D-backs fans are hoping they will see their star infielder at some point during the game. Chase Field will host the Suns watch party for Game 4 of the NBA Finals on Wednesday. The Suns issued a strong statement on Twitter following Sunday's Game 3 watch party, denouncing any and all violence after fights broke out at the event. The Suns are asking fans to stay peaceful in their celebrations. And that's it for your Cronkite Sports Report. Back to you, Sinead and Peyton.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight.
Thanks for joining us. For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.